What's up, guys? This is Josh from Josh Likes Cards. I am here with a video that was intended to be cracking packs, but when you're using a new computer setup, it's always nice to check the audio settings. Kind of forgot to do that, rookie mistake, so sadly the packs are all cracked. Tonight I would have brought you a couple of conspiracy packs, Eldritch Moon, Kaladesh, and I threw in an Aether Revolt. The fun part is that you didn't get to see me open a bunch of garbage. The packs were certainly not that exciting. Although, I will tell you and show you that Conspiracy produced something really interesting. If you look at the top left corner, that's not a scratch or any kind of damage to the cards. It's actually a misprint. And I'm going to bring it really close here. I hope you can see that. There's a dot. So very interesting. And also look at the very bottom corner here. This very bottom corner is a super, super small border. And the top is actually quite large. So I don't know if you can see that there on Bronze Sable. It's very evident on this Deathwind and the Netcaster Spider and this Messenger Jace. So kind of miscut, a little bit of a printing error, super neat. And the last thing, this one's really cool. So it's a Serum Visions, right? But if you look at the Deceiver X art underneath it, both Conspiracy printings, they came from the same 3-pack at Target. I'll admit that I bought it at Target. Look at the color difference. Pretty crazy. This is a very dark Serum Visions. So for the people who like miscut cards, you're going to have a field day with that one. It's kind of neat. I don't think there's any super value. Capital Punishment, Charmbreaker Devils, Custody Lich. I got a foil Lieutenants of the Guard, and just some, some other stuff. Now, I did get the double rare inside my Eldritch Moon pack. Emrakul's Evangel, or Evangel, whatever you say it. Bruna the Fading Light's another one. I've actually been just kind of randomly picking up Brunas here. They're so cheap right now. People love Angels and Casual, and I think she's a neat one with a pretty cool effect. The rest of the stuff that you see here in front of you is pretty interesting. I'm going to talk a little bit about it because I'm going to publicly declare something, and you guys can laugh at me and you can throw it in the comments and tell me I'm stupid and whatever, but you know what? It's going to be fun. I'm going to try it, and I'm going to say this in a public forum. Before I get to that, though, I will show you a couple of cards that have come through on Pucatrade, guys. Pucatrade is alive and well. Anybody who says it's dead isn't using it. This Sphere of Resistance Masterpiece was a promoted trade. Pucatrade just launched those less than 2 weeks ago. So I said, sure, why not? A buddy of mine let me play his Vintage Mud deck online, and I fell in love. So I'm actually going to start building Vintage in paper. Yes, I'm going to make the plunge. Yes, that means I'm going to pick up Power. No, I don't currently own any. I also have been asked a whole bunch if I own a game shop, and the answer is no. I'm just a guy who really loves Magic, and I have a pretty big collection. So I'm going to put that collection to work. I'm going to pick up some Power. I'm going to build a Vintage deck, and I'm going to have a blast. This is card number 1 of Vintage Mud. Sphere of Resistance cost me all of 6,500 Puka points. For those of you who are counting, $65 worth of cards, right? No. I fulfilled some promoted trades where people were offering silly bonuses. In fact, one of them was an Alliance's Force of Will where the guy was offering nearly double the value. Sent the card out for double the value, picked up the extra points, threw my own bonus on there, and I'm still sitting on extra points. Or I was until this morning. I've been playing a lot of Magic Online lately. You guys probably don't notice, but I did mention that I was having to change audio settings on a new computer. But my MacBook, the computer that I use to bring you all the previous content, decided to drink a cup of coffee. Well, unfortunately, that fried that computer, so I'm coming to you on a brand new computer with a familiar setup, but all new, tons more content. We're going to have fun with this. So other cards that I got from Pucatrade, a couple of just interesting little random pickups here. Angels, and more Angels. The reason being, Sigarda is so cheap right now. Legendary creature, relevant ability, especially right now in the format. We are, just before the new block comes out. I don't know how much playability that she's going to have going forward. I certainly think she'll be one of those cards that will eventually hit probably $4 or $5 or so. But, right now it's just kind of randomly seeing some play. But I think it's a good pickup nonetheless. Angel of Invention is just another cool one too. Other cards that I got, these are also all from Pucatrade. Westvale Abbey, the Tireless Trackers, another non-reciprocal trade. These are going to end up going in another standard deck. I'm kind of toying around with Tameo right now and just think this card could be fun. Westvale Abbey, also a blast. Foil or pre-release Paradoxical Outcome. Guys, this card is silly. It does really weird, crazy things, and I just love it. It's blue. That also adds to it. I've been slowly picking these up. In fact, I think this completes my play set of pre-release promos, and now I'm going for set foils. So if you have any set foils, drop your Pucatrade profile link in the comments below. Would love to trade with you if you have some of these in foil. The fun part about Pucatrade is not just getting cards that you want, but getting cards that your friends want. This Mox Opal and this Grim Flayer are already spoken for. I did not really have to trade very hard for them, and the things that I'm getting from my local friends in return, in fact, are cards I want very much. So, Grim Flayer is out the door, and Mox Opal is about to be in an envelope tomorrow going out to another buddy of mine. So, use Pucatrade for whatever you want to use it for. It works, it's great, it's amazing, and here is another example of why. This planar bridge came to me on a completely random send, just like the Sphere of Resistance, except the fun part was I didn't offer a bonus. Didn't even offer a bonus, just got that card. So guys, Pucatrade's alive and well. It is very much alive and well. These other stacks that you see in front of me here are the result of me opening 4 different boxes just this past weekend. I went crazy on Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. I traded some cards into a local game shop that frankly I wasn't using and weren't really super expensive, and walked out of there with some sealed product. Now a lot of people go, oh, don't do that, don't trade for sealed product, it's terrible. But you know what, when you have stacks, and I'm talking, it's hard to see on camera, but stacks of cards. There's probably 50 or 60 cards here. Stacks of rares and stuff that you're not doing anything with. Why not get sealed product? In fact, a lot of mine, I traded in commons and uncommons. Sure, make my bulk work for me. So, I mentioned earlier that I was going to start building vintage, and that I had a couple of declarations to make, and it sounds really silly and goofy, but you know what? We're on YouTube, and you guys can hold me to whatever you want to hold me to, because I'm about to make it public knowledge. I'm going to use these stacks of cards. Standard, of course, but, you know, good cards. Aetherworks Marvels, Fleet Rail Cruisers. You guys can see there's actually some decent stuff in there. I'm going to start trading these into staples. And then from these staples, I'm going to start trading them into bigger format staples. And then we're going to start working on power. It's not going to be a quick thing. These people that go to GPs and do this whole pack to power thing, if you've ever done one, I'm really curious to know in the comments how well you've done in the past, but I've seen people do it and they generally fall short somewhere around like the $50, $60 range, because people just don't want to give up value because somebody's chasing a dream. But with a lot of these cards, and you can see, you know, I've put some here up front. By the way, this is an amazing card. Guys, this isn't just junk. I mean, mechanized production. Okay, maybe the whale is. But, you know, expertise in here, word of invention, quicksmith spy. I mean, there's another whale. But overall, guys, these are decent cards, and people are actually looking for them. In fact, a buddy of mine still has one of these that he borrowed from me the other day. He was playing Affinity. That card is silly good. These are all cards, guys, that people are looking for a lot on Pucatrade. And that's really where the key of this is going to come into play. I will be using Pucatrade and documenting my adventures and showing you the outbound for what's coming inbound. And I think that it's really important for you guys to see that this is real and it works. So I'm going to be sending out random promoted trades so I can bulk up my points. And guys, that's the way I'm going to chase this down. I also have a goal of getting a piece of power off of Pucatrade. I've had a time twister on my profile since the moment I created it. Oddly enough, that's actually going in an EDH deck because it's the only EDH playable piece of power. But why not? I do a ton with Pucatrade anyways. And yes, people say, oh, stamps and envelopes and whatever. You know what? Small price to pay if you're getting something that you really want and you're trading out cards that you don't necessarily need. People need Walking Ballistas. I don't. People need Aetherworks Marvels. It's a fun deck. I'm just not going to play it. So why did I buy 4 boxes of Standard to start this project? One, I spent no cash out of pocket. That's the first thing. I traded in, you know, bulk. The second piece of it is because it gives me a really interesting goal to put forth and to work towards. I think everybody needs trading goals. You guys have heard this in my previous videos. Everybody needs a goal. Trading is not just swapping cards around because you're bored. My goal at this point is to finish a vintage mud deck simply using Pucatrade. It's going to be crazy. I'm actually still trying to finish my EDH deck, and I need some really expensive cards for that too. So here's what I would challenge you to do. First, drop your Pucatrade profile in the comments. The second thing is tell me if you've ever done like a Pack to Power challenge, or if you've ever done something crazy like that, or found ways to trade up. What's worked for you? You know, I really like hearing everybody's comments. And also the other thing I would ask everybody to do is leave me a comment in what you'd like to see in future content. If you think this is cool, if you think I'm crazy, tell me that too. But I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this, and hopefully you'll follow along. Give me, a subscribe. Click the like button. Follow along in my journey. And I promise you, this next Friday on Crackin' Packs, I will remember my audio functions. So thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate all of you checking out today's video. Talk to you soon.